Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Blown Budget Garage. Today I'm going on a little road trip to pick up a small block 904 transmission. The guys over at NSB Custom Cars reached out to me and said, hey, we got a transmission for you if you want it. So I couldn't say no. The goal for this episode is to make it there, get the transmission, make it back. I want to get it drained, get a new filter put in it, get it up underneath the car, and fill it full of fluid, hope that it works. I want to give you a walk around around the new car that's on the channel. I'm super excited to work on it. It's my buddy Jeff's car. And the air filter that I ordered finally came in, which is super nice. So I'm going to get all that done for you today, fingers crossed. And then if by some stroke of luck I magically get it all done super quickly, I'll move on to something else, but I wouldn't count on it. So yeah, stay tuned, stick around. It's going to be a good one. In other news, 95 degrees when it's 414 is absolutely ridiculous. Alright guys, so thanks to NSB Custom Cars, the transmission's in the back. I'm going to head home, stop at the parts store, get some transmission fluid and a filter, and get this transmission drained and a new filter put in it, and we're going to hope for the best. Once again, I can't say thank you enough, guys, for giving me that transmission. So if you want to check out their channel, they're new and they need all the support that they can get. Go on over to them. Here's what their channel looks like right here. And I'm going to go ahead now and continue going home. And as soon as I get back to the shop, I'll cut you back on. See you in a bit. Alright guys, so I just stopped at the parts store, and if you are wondering why are you using this, you should be using the ATF Plus 4. Well, I had to replace all my line because all the other stuff probably has metal in it. I got to get another filter, and I got to get enough fluid to make sure everything is going to work if it does work. So since I don't know if the trans is good, I'm not going to dump a bunch of money in expensive stuff just to confirm that it's a bad trans. So let's get home and get to work. All right, so we got the transmission up on jack stands. I'm about to drop the pan right there. I got to pull that dipstick tube because I got that chrome one to use. I got the torque converter out and it's upside down draining. I'm going to go ahead and reuse that one. Like I talked about, the one that's in there is, in the old trans, is shot. So she's a little dirty, but I kind of started blowing it off and everything. And so this is the car that y'all will be seeing a little bit on, or a little bit of on the channel. It's a 64 Galaxy 500 made by Ferd. And he went ahead and he's already been working on the engine a little bit and getting it stripped down, but it's got the nice big block in it. So as he needs help, you'll be seeing me tinkering on this with him, but pretty cool car. Alright, so let's start the episode off with a bit of success. So this is our 5-inch air filter, and I just want to see how it looks. Nice when you ain't got to take your touch your hood to swap out your air filter. Done. I don't know. I kind of feel like it needs to come up another inch or so.
How would you?
Well, it'll still fit, but I just feel like, I don't know. Let's get you in closer so you can see. I feel like I need to add another spacer because that's all that it sticks up. So I'm sure some of y'all have an opinion about that. Let me know what you think. New filter going in. Got the old one out and I didn't see any metal shavings on top. We got the pan off. We didn't see any metal shavings, just maybe a couple of tiny little specks. Saw a little bit of sludge on the bottom, but we're hoping that it's fine. So I'm gonna get the filter in. I'm gonna get the pan back on. Unfortunately, this kit comes with these rubber garbage seals. So it's a guaranteed fact that they're gonna leak, but I don't care. We just need to see if this works or not. So I'm gonna get this done. All right, so I got the gasket on, I got the pan back on. I'm not gonna put any fluid in it yet because the less weight we have, the better. I gotta get the rods off. I'll bring you over here so you can see. I gotta get these guys right here off because I got that Lokar kit, and because of it, I can take that right there off too. So I'm gonna get this transmission brought into the shop so that I can take my jack stands and get them underneath the car, get the car jacked up, because now I gotta take my drive shaft out, I gotta get the starter out, and I gotta get my engine hoist hooked up and get the back of the engine connected where the heads go, so that when I pull the trans, the engine doesn't drop. There's a lot of things I gotta get done, so I'll take you step by step in case you've never done this or you're curious on how to pull your transmission. So first step, obviously, since we're putting a new one in, is getting this one ready to go in. So that's just about done. I'm gonna bring it inside, get the car jacked up, we'll go from there. So I got the more fireworks. I got the car jacked up, as you can see, and I actually thought ahead and I measured from right under here to the ground, and then I measured the trans just to make sure that it'll slide out. So the first step that we're gonna do is get back here. I'm gonna disconnect the drive shaft, pull it out of the tail shaft. I'm gonna pull the starter out, and then I'm gonna go get my engine hoist, bring her around, connect it to the engine, and get the bell housing bolts loose, get the cross member bolts out, and then the trans should drop. So first step, drive shaft. Update time. So I got the drive shaft out, and I like to just leave pieces where I know I'm gonna have to put them back on. So like for the cross member for the trans, I took those two out, just left them there, left those bolts right there. And then I came over here, I got those arms off because, you know, I got the Lokar kit, so I don't need those. And then I went ahead and got my cables. As you can see, there's my kick down cable and there's my shifter cable. I got that disconnected. I took the nut off the starter post, and then I left that other bolt on there because I'm going to use that starter to bump the engine over to so I can get two of these torque converter bolts out, and then I'll bump it to get to the other one. So the next step is to do just that. Wish me luck. All right, so I'm ahead of schedule. If I even had a schedule. All four all four of the torque converter bolts are out. The starter is out. So the only thing that I have left to do now is get the bell housing bolts off and get the crossmember bolts out. And I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and get my jack slid up underneath, get the crossmember bolts out, and then I'll start working on the bell housing bolts. But first, I'm going to think ahead and go ahead and pull my engine hoist around and get the engine secure so it doesn't kind of tipped back on me, but I need a break because it's a lot of work. Thankfully, I have that trigger starter because I'm out here by myself. So I hooked my trigger starter up and I ran it over the side of the fender so I could do a little 1980s bumpy, and then look underneath and see if the other two torque converter bolts were where I could get to them. And then I had to get back out and chicka, get down, get up, chicka, whatever. I got it, man. So yeah, I think probably another, I don't know, maybe 45 minutes or so, and I'll have the transmission out. So this is actually a little funny here. So I got my chain hooked up in the back, right? Because we want to keep that engine from and the rear falling downwards. And I was like, oh no, our hood's on. This ain't gonna work. So if you cut a hole in your hood for your air filter to go, your engine hoist can actually go all the way to where it needs to support the rear of your engine. So I'm not saying that's a good reason to do it. I'm just saying it's not a bad one. All right, so the old transmission, this actually is a little deceiving because this one looks nicer than this one, but this is the old one, the one that we fried. So as you can see, it's out. And I went ahead and I got my fittings off of over here onto this one. I got everything set up for this one to where I can quickly and a little bit more easily hook everything up once it's under the car. So next I'm going to get the torque converter, which is over there. I'm gonna get it filled full of fluid, get it up under in the trans, and then we're gonna try to get her up into the car. So be right back.
Cold drinks. Cold drinks.
Cold drinks. Give me a cold drink. All right, update. So, transmission's in. Had a little bit of trouble with this one that I didn't have last time. But what I ended up doing was I put the cross member up. Once we had the trans, we could kind of get it onto the dowel pins, but we're just kind of having trouble. So we got like one bolt started so that it would hold in place. Kind of got another top one started. But it still needed just a tiny little bit of tweaking. Bell housing bolts are in, so now all that's left is everything else. I'm gonna take a break, and when I get a whole bunch more, I'll cut you back on, show you what I got going on, because with a little bit of luck, tomorrow we're gonna yard drive it again before this episode is over. All right, guys. So it is 2:49 in the morning, and we just now got the 4 torque converter bolts hooked up, bolted in, torqued up, whatever the hell you want to call it. And that should have been the last thing that we needed to do. Aside from tomorrow, we're gonna put a piece of all thread on for the carburetor, for the air filter, and whatever. So as of right now, the trans is full of fluid. Everything that we know of is hooked back up, I believe. I'm really tired, so we'll double check everything tomorrow, and then we'll set the air filter on, and then we're gonna drive it out the door. Hi guys, back at it again. I got my piece of all thread for my air filter, so that's nice and stay putty. I got my neutral safety switch wire, the neutral safety wire. It's now hooked up. I put 5 more gallons of fuel in the back. And yeah, I'm about to just kind of double check everything, tidy things up, check my trans fluid, see if some of it kind of settled down and I can add a little bit more, move my trigger starter, just kind of get everything ready to fire this off. So here in a little bit, hopefully, if everything goes well, we'll be able to see these tires moving. All right, guys, so we started the car up, got all the fluid in it, kept topping it off. Still up on the jack stands, put it in drive. Wheels are spinning in drive. So now we're gonna get this thing off the jack stands onto the ground. We're gonna fire it back up, and then we're gonna see if we can't drive around this yard a little bit. So see you in a second. All right, quick update. The first, every time I put it in gear, she dies. So I'm about to start tracking down a vacuum leak. I mean, literally every single time You put her in gear, she just shuts down. Oh, also, I had to redo all my cable from my shifter because it was leaned up next to the header because I didn't have it tucked away just quite right. So now my shifter's a little tight, but whatever. I'm going to continue to try getting this car dialed in because I really want to drive this thing right out that door. It won't stay running. I got to figure out what's going on, guys. That's all she's got. I can get her to run for a little bit, and then as soon as I let off the throttle, she dies. So I think that's going to be safe for another episode. So that sucks. I got a lot to figure out. Something is going on and I have no clue what it is. I don't know if the cam's too big. I don't know. I don't know what I don't know at this point. So yeah, we'll figure that out on another date. We drove around the yard and that's all that matters. Thanks for watching. Have a good week.